I love these beaches, but let's be honest, Croatia isn't cheap anymore. Neither is Greece, or the Amalfi Coast, or Mallorca. Costs have crept everywhere, and a lot of people are getting priced out of the classic European summer. So I wanted to find out if there is still somewhere in Europe where you can get the beaches, the old towns, the food and the atmosphere without paying Western European prices. And that brought me to Bulgaria. Bulgaria is becoming increasingly popular with tourists. In 2025, more than 13 million foreign visitors entered the country. But despite that growth, Bulgaria still feels like one of Europe's more underrated beach destinations. So I came here to see what it's actually like and how much you can expect to spend. My first stop is Burgas, not the postcard version of Bulgaria. No old town, no beach resort vibe. It's a real city, and for most travelers, it's simply where you land. But it's also the gateway to everything you're about to see. Once you're in Bulgaria, you immediately notice something quite different from what you would see in Western Europe. The signs here are written in Cyrillic. A lot of information is also available in English, especially in tourist areas, but being able to read Cyrillic can still be really helpful when you're getting around. One of the things I really liked about Bulgaria is that access to the beaches is free. You don't have to pay an entrance fee just to come here and put your towel on the sand. There are, however, designated paid areas where you can rent umbrellas and sunbeds. And I found the whole system quite convenient because the prices are clearly displayed on these signs. You'll see similar signs on different beaches, so you don't have to walk up to every beach club wondering how much you're going to pay. It's also good to be aware that the Black Sea doesn't necessarily look like the Mediterranean. If you're coming here expecting that crystal clear, turquoise water you get in places like Croatia or Greece, you might be somewhat disappointed. The sea was quite windy when I visited, which apparently isn't unusual here. Burgas actually has a decent windsurfing scene and the bay regularly hosts windsurfing competitions. After a few hours by the sea, I was getting hungry. Here's another thing worth knowing before you come into Bulgaria. Smoking is allowed on outdoor terraces, so if you're a non-smoker, it's something to keep in mind when choosing where to sit. The next morning I took a bus from Burgas to Nessebar. I had to pay in cash, so it's a good idea to keep some cash with you when traveling around Bulgaria. And here it is, the ancient pearl of the Black Sea. Nessebar is more than 3,000 years old, with its history going back to Thracian times. Over the centuries, Greeks, Romans, Byzantines, and of course Bulgarians all left their mark here, and you can still see that history everywhere as you walk through the old town. It was added to the UNESCO World Heritage List, and walking through the narrow cobblestone streets, old wooden houses and medieval churches, it's not difficult to see why. Of course, a place this beautiful isn't exactly a secret. Nessebar is very touristy, especially in summer, but compared with some of the better known destinations on the Adriatic, like Split or Dubrovnik, I found the crowds here surprisingly manageable. And even the Old Town beach wasn't crowded at all. However, if you leave the Old Town and head towards the newer part of Nessebar, the atmosphere changes quite a bit. This was a Sunday noon and as you can see the beach was absolutely packed. Just across the bay from Nessebar lies one of Bulgaria's most famous seaside resorts, Sunny Beach. A 10-minute bus ride and here I am. Sunny Beach has actually been a major holiday destination for decades. It was established in 1958 during the socialist period and quickly became a popular resort for people from across the Eastern Bloc, attracting tourists from countries like Czechoslovakia, East Germany, Poland, Hungary, and the Soviet Union. The town was also known for its distinctive modernist architecture. Many of its original masterpieces have been lost over the years, but you can still find some of them scattered around the resort today, including hotels and holiday complexes that date back to the socialist era. More than half a century later, Sunny Beach looks almost unrecognizable, a huge purpose-built resort with hotels, all-inclusive complexes, restaurants, bars and shops, packed into a relatively small area. In the middle of summer it can get extremely busy, as you can see. After all the noise and crowds, it was time for something quieter, a coastal town of Sozopol. If Nessebar felt like walking through a postcard, Sozopol feels different, more lived in, more relaxed. With its narrower and quieter streets, this town has long been a magnet for Bulgarian artists and writers. From the fortress walls, you get this beautiful view over the central beach. It looked like a great place to spend the day, a wide stretch of sand, plenty of space, and beautiful clear water. After spending several days here and traveling along the coast, I can really see Bulgaria's potential to become one of Europe's next big summer destinations. Of course, it's not perfect. The Black Sea doesn't always have this postcard perfect blue waters you find in many Mediterranean destinations, and the infrastructure can feel dated. But at the same time, Bulgaria has a lot to offer. Beautiful beaches, ancient towns, great food, and plenty of places where you can still escape the crowds, all without spending a fortune. So if you're chasing real value, Bulgaria's Black Sea coast deserves a spot on your radar for next summer.